So we recently ran a poll on this channel, and if those results are to be trusted, most of you guys are actually quite new to Raid Shadow Legends, and so, as such, this happy little video is going to be 15 rapid-fire tips to help get you started, and make sure you don't fall into some common pitfalls in your early months in Raid. And hey man, while you're here, why not go ahead, scroll on down a little bit, and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any future videos just like this one. So, the very first tip we're going to be covering is going to be kind of like a 3-in-1, a catch-all to help get you started in your first week or two of Raid. And we're going to blast through these extremely quickly because every other tips video on YouTube also covers these tips. The first thing, get your starting champion up to level 60. It's the only thing that matters. It's like your very first objective, literally the only thing that matters when you're just getting started in Raid. Next up, go into your Masteries tab, and as soon as you have 800 gems, you want to pay the 800 gems required to unlock your Masteries on your starting gem. Any additional gems you get after that, you want to spend on the gem mine to upgrade it all the way up to rank 3, so you get that steady income of gems for a long time to come. Then you're going to progress on through the campaign, eventually work your way down to brutal difficulty, which is just behind my camera just here, so that you can start farming campaign stage 12, level 12, stage 3. This is where you're going to be leveling all of your other champs using your starter level 60 champion to boost the crap out of them. Why level 11 stage 3? Well, it's just the most resource efficient way to do so, right? You get a lot of XP this way, and you farm a lot of shield items this way, which sell for a good amount of silver. Tip number 2 is just a beginner tip for stats, right? There's a lot of stats in Raid, and it's not exactly super obvious how all of them work, particularly resistance and accuracy. But the main things you want to focus on if you're just really getting started is getting 100% or as close to 100% crit rate as you possibly can on your attack-based champions, right? Your attack-based nukers. For you, this is probably going to be your starting champion. What's the easiest way to get crit rate on your nukers? Well, it's just to roll into crit rate on gloves. Gloves are the only item in the game that can RNG, that can just roll into crit rate as a primary stat, and so you can get a hell of a lot of crit rate from upgraded gloves. Next up, you have your debuffers, right? What do debuffers need? Debuffers need accuracy, okay? So if you've got a champion, like for example Archer Queen right here, she has a lot of things like stuns, a lot of decreased speed debuffs, she has some provoke debuffs, some hex debuffs, right? She's all about landing those debuffs, and so for any champ that needs to do anything to the enemy that's not damage, okay, so 10-meter reduction, debuffs of any kind, that kind of thing, then you're going to need to build accuracy on that champ. Accuracy will show up on certain set bonuses like the accuracy set or the perception set, right? You can get your hands on plus 40 accuracy that way. And another really easy way to get your hands on accuracy is as soon as you are strong enough to be farming banners, accuracy can also show up as a primary stat on the banner accessory items. So that's really for if you're like a month or two into the game, right? And finally, we've got speed. Speed is the best stat in the game. That's it. Speed is what decides whether or not you are attacking in first. Speed decides how quickly your 10-meter fills up on a champ. So the more speed you've got, the more turns they're taking. It's just the best stat in the game. Okay, so always prioritize boots that have speed as a main stat. Just like banners and accuracy, boots are the only artifact type in the game that can roll speed as a primary stat, so you can get a hell of a lot of speed from a good pair of boots. The next tip is to, if you are starting off a fresh new Raid account, always do so using a promo link. This is going to start you off your account with a free epic champion, and usually a solid bunch of starting resources like silver and other things. In fact, we have a promo link down below at the top of the video description that you can hit and kickstart your account in exactly this way. Now, if you're like a month into Raid and you've already got your starting champ up to level 60, you probably should not be restarting your account, even with the promo link. But if you feel like you've really screwed things up, maybe you like used your starting champion as food in the tavern or something in like the first week, and you're saying, you know what, Red, screw this, I need a clean start, then go ahead and click that link down below. And kind of tied into this as well is make sure to be using promo codes, right? We have a promo code associated with this channel. It is simply GameLeap. It will get you 1 free energy refill, 100,000 silver, and 10 free experience brews to use in your tavern. Promo codes are something you should be blasting as soon as they become available. A lot of them are time limited, and so getting them used kind of quickly on the fly is going to help you out a hell of a lot in the long run. Now, tip number 4 would be to head on into the arena and make sure that you are blasting your arenas every single day. Of course, make sure that you are only taking on enemies that are lower power level than you and that you're quite confident that you can win up against. Another kind of side tip is if you have a champion that has a speed aura, right, such as High Katoon, which is going to be your 30-day playtime reward champion, then generally speaking, you want to lead with that champion at the front of your team so you get to attack in first. The main point is, you'll be waking up most days with 10 arena tokens ready to spend. These replenish at a rate of 1 per hour, and so you can get multiple runs, like 20 or so arena games played every single day, even just from like the passive refreshes, and you really should be doing that. So the Great Hall is where you spend your arena medals to unlock some account-wide buffs for champions of a certain affinity. So what do you want to be upgrading first? I've not done this perfectly, by the way, so don't be making my mistake. So generally speaking, in the Great Hall, you want to be spending your medals to first upgrade the magic affinity bonuses. Why is that? Because of course your starting champion is always of the magic affinity, so getting them as strong as possible, as quickly as possible, is going to help you out quite a bit. Next, which bonuses do you want to focus on upgrading first? Well, that's kind of down to your starting champ, but I can tell you which ones you do not want to be upgrading first, and that is the attack and the crit damage bonuses. These, they're not useless, obviously. They do have their uses, but the problem is that most champions in the game don't actually care about how much attack damage they're dealing. It's just the damage dealers, it's just the nukers, right? Your magic affinity tanks, for example, don't care about their attack stat. Your supports are generally not going to care about their attack numbers. Same thing with crit damage as well. Like crit damage, the only people who care about this, it's your nukers, man. Your other champs don't give a damn about this. Whereas the likes of defense and resistance and HP, these are going to be buffs to every magic affinity champ, whether they're a damage dealer, whether they're a tank, whether they're a support. All champions need a reasonable amount of survivability in this game. It doesn't matter what role they're trying to fill. That is generally why you want to focus on leveling the likes of defense and resistance and HP first and foremost, and you can also focus hard on leveling accuracy first and foremost, especially if your starting champion is Kale. This bonus accuracy is just going to make it more likely that your poisons are landing on Kale, and so accuracy becomes kind of S tier if Kale is your starting champ. It's not bad on all of the others either, but yeah, I think if I was starting with any other champ that wasn't Kale, then resistance, defense, HP, I might focus a bit more on those first and then catch up with accuracy like fourth. The TLDR is, don't focus that much on crit damage and attack. Yeah, it's only useful in like 1 in 5 champions or something. Now next up, when it comes to farming arena to level up your Great Hall, there's one key thing that you want to keep in mind. You want to stay in the silver ranks, okay? Don't be going up to gold. You're gonna get your ass kicked. It's not gonna be pleasant, man. So how do you do that? Well, you want to set a very crap defense team. That's what you want to do, man. Set the weakest defense team that you possibly can. I've just got some 2-star common piece of crap here. And yeah, I just want to lose every single defensive battle, and I want to be easy pickings. I want to lose my rating while I'm not playing the game, right? I want to wake up every day and see, oh, nice, I deranked again back down to silver 2 or something, you know? And this is just going to make it so that I stay in silver rank and I can farm some easy wins against like roughly half of the players that I'm getting matched up against. And look, this guy's actually doing the same thing, right? He's just got a defense team of 1 champ. He's doing the same thing. And if I was to not do this and I was to set like a very strong defense team with all of my main champs and stuff like that, what would happen is I'd eventually climb up to gold rank, and then suddenly, instead of facing up against teams with like 100,000 team power, you're going up against teams with 400,000 team power, and I'd really struggle to win anything, and then I'm not gaining any medals. So really take your time in going up to gold, especially if you're just getting started in raid. You know what I'm saying? Tip number 7 is to spend your faction wars keys until there are none left every single day. Really simple stuff. If I head on into my demon spawn crypt here, you can see that I've been able to farm all the way up to stage 6. And so, you know, I'm getting some okay-ish rewards. A little bit stuck on the boss right now, but that's fine. In my orc crypt, this is the one I want to draw attention to, because my orc team is just not even a team. It sucks, right? So bad, and I'm only strong enough to beat stage 1. Now, if you're a new player, this is exactly the kind of situations that you're going to be in, right? You might not even be able to beat stage 1. That's how bad it's going to be, but you're going to try at least every single day. Because even if you can only farm stage 1 and just spend all of your faction wars keys on stage 1, you're still getting some material drops over here, right? Which are crafting materials. These are going to be useful on your account forever. They're going to help generate you silver. They're going to help you to craft superior gear when the forge building unlocks, okay? And that will come around quite quickly as long as you're playing actively, right? Just spend your faction crypt keys every day. Very important stuff. It will pay off, I promise you. Tip number 8 is knowing all about what gear is decent. In my opinion, there are only really 4 sets that are decently accessible, that are actually good, that you can get as a beginner player. Everything else is just kind of crappy, and you scale out of it very quickly. So these mostly accessible but very good sets are the speed set, they are the lifesteal set, the relentless set, which you get from placing high in tournaments, which is achievable if you kind of know what you're doing and you watch some guides and stuff on how to actually compete in tournaments as a beginner player, because you should be put against other beginner players in tournaments. So it is possible to acquire yourself some early relentless gear. And finally, perception gear, which is one of the first sets you're going to be crafting in your forge building. And if you don't quite have perception gear yet, then accuracy will do a similar job. But yeah, these like 4 or like 4.5 sets are really the only good sets you can actually look to get your hands on that are going to be somewhat useful on your account for a long time to come, that you can actually get in the first like 2 or 3 months of playing Raid. The next tip is to join a clan. We do have the GL Bootcamp, which is at level 4 right now, and honestly we're getting some pretty strong members joining as well. It's great, we're doing well in the clan boss and stuff like that, but the reason you want to join a clan is for that exact reason. It's so that you can start doing and start making progress in the clan boss, which is Demon Lord, by the way. When people say clan boss, they usually talk about Demon Lord, okay? Now, what's really important when you're doing Demon Lord is that you are hitting the Demon Lord at the appropriate level, right? What exactly does that mean? Should you be doing easy, normal, hard, or brutal? If you're in a beginner clan, you might only have like easy and normal unlocked, and so the decision is quite easy. But how do you actually make your mind up against this, right? So if you go up to the easy clan boss here, you click on this little box, you should be aiming to do somewhere between one of these damage brackets against clan boss. If you are unable to do 286,000 damage at a minimum to the clan boss to get yourself like the weakest chest reward, then you're just not ready for clan boss yet, and you need to work on getting some poisoners in your team, right? And some people who can actually help you out against the clan boss. Now, if you can do more than 100, whatever this is, like 1.1 million damage, right, and you can do more damage than is required to get your hands on the warrior chest, then you're probably ready to move on to normal clan boss, okay, where the requirement is 900k plus, okay? Then same thing, if you can do more than 3.6 million damage and you can do this in like 1 key to the normal clan boss, then you're probably ready to move on to the hard clan boss, right? And just make sure that you're staying somewhat level appropriate, and that yeah, you're always earning one of the top tier chests if possible from the clan boss encounters. Now, it's kind of funny, man. It looks like someone here tried their hand at brutal clan boss and was not ready for it at all, and only did 153k damage, whereas you need over 5 million to get your hands on the first chest. So just make sure that you're doing level appropriate stuff. I think that this gentleman did actually, was also able to 1 key the easy clan boss. So realistically, he's probably more ready for things like, you know, low hard, or maybe top key like normal, something like that, you know. But just make sure that you are beating clan boss at the appropriate difficulty. Very, very important stuff to make sure that you're getting the best chests that you can. Tip number 10, boys. And if you found any of these useful at all so far, if you're returning to Raid after a long time, you're a new player, you're enjoying the damn video, and you're getting something from it, make sure to click like and subscribe. It'll help me out a hell of a lot on this rather new little channel that we're trying to set up over here, man. So, tip number 10 is to not waste silver upgrading items to level 16 unless you are positive that they are going to be good for you for a long, long time. Very, very expensive to take an item to 16. I think that I overall regret taking these gloves to 16. I could definitely be doing better than these, and yeah, they're not going to last me a whole bunch longer. I think that taking these gloves to level 12, to like upgrade level 12, would have been completely fine, right? 4-star epics, pretty good stats overall, at least for where my account is at this early stage. 16, little bit of wasted gold there, or silver, rather. So I would say that the general rule is something as follows, or something like as follows. Don't be taking an item all the way up to level 16 unless it is at least 5-star quality and rare in quality. Now, there are a lot of caveats to this rule, right? Sometimes, literally, you can have a 5-star rare item that is better than a legendary 6-star item, just because of the way that the stats roll on that particular item. It's kind of rare that that happens, but it does happen. And I've actually got 2 additional guides up on this channel already, both of which I'm going to link down below in the video description, that if you're not sure about items, if you're just getting to grips with how to kind of judge an item's value and judge how good it is, you should definitely head on down below and check out those 2 videos once you're done watching this one. And yeah, I do my best to really break down what actually makes an item good and makes an item worth keeping, as well as what can make like a 5 or even a 6-star item really not that good and not something that you want to take to level 16. Tip number 11 is actually a tip that I'm observing right now, and that's even if you have a pretty darn good item. If I scroll on down to one of my new epic champs here, I've got a bunch of items on this gal, a few more that I need to kind of fill in. Do not be upgrading your items to level 16 forever unless there is an artifact enhancement event active. And what do you know? In like 14 hours from now, from when I'm actually recording this video, we have an artifact enhancement event coming up just around the corner. Okay, so leveling your 5 and your 6 star items all the way up to 16. If it's something that you're pretty sure that you're going to be doing with a certain item, just wait until there is an artifact enhancement event active. Okay, this means that you're going to earn just a bunch of free rewards from taking an item to 16 that otherwise you just wouldn't get. So just be patient when it comes to upgrading your items. If you're really, really impatient, you can just upgrade them to 12. That's fine. But definitely don't take them all the way up to 16 until there is one of these events live. Tip number 12 has got to be to never, ever buy item or artifact or accessory packs off the shop. For example, this super legendary, super enticing 6-star lifesteal set. It might look juicy as hell on the surface, okay? But as a new player, just don't be doing this, right? The likelihood that you'll get baited into buying a not so good set is actually quite high until you come more to grips with the game. But second, and most important of all, most of the time, the sets that you can buy from the shop like this are farmable in the game, okay? So you don't have to pay cash for them. And the craziest thing, yes, you know you're gonna get yourself like a legendary lifesteal weapon here that's 6 stars, but you have no idea what the substats are gonna be on this weapon. That pat is gonna be completely random. Think of the chest as well. Like, what the hell's gonna happen if you buy this? You get the 6-star chest, and its primary stat is like flat defense, you know, or like flat resist or something, you know, it's just something that you really, really don't want, you know, or like flat defense boots, right? Not all stats are born equal, and just because an item is 6-star in quality and legendary does not mean that it's going to be good. It might be good for you and your brand new account for like a little while, because to be honest, any 6-star item or like any 6-star item you get in the first few weeks of raid is obviously going to be very, very good. But in the long haul, right, once your account is like a year or 2 old, you look back at decisions like this and think, what the hell was I thinking, man? So yeah, just generally speaking, don't roll the dice with these things, at least not until you've been playing the game for a while, and yeah, you're ready to roll the dice in such a way. Actually, heading back on into the shop, the best possible item you can buy from the shop that's actually very, very cost effective for what you get is the daily gem pack in raid. Gems are usable for everything. They're the most versatile resource in the game. You can even spend the gems in their own little shop section, so whatever you need whenever the time arises, particularly energy refills, which are down here in the bottom left of the shop, and things like big shard packs. These kinds of things are going to help you out a hell of a lot. The experience boost banners are going to help you out a hell of a lot if you run out of experience boosts. Picking up a nice and early daily gem pack as well is also going to help you buy those first masteries on your starter champ. It's going to help you upgrade your gem mine. You don't have to get the early gem pack. I'm just saying, if you are going to spend in the shop, yeah, the daily gem pack when it comes to value for your pennies is by far the best. It's not really that close. Next up for tip number 14, make sure that you are clicking the hell out of free stuff in the shop. That means heading into the pack sections of the shop once a day to grab a free mystery shard and once a week to grab the free ancient shard. The ancient shard, very, very important to get your hands on. In addition, make sure that you are clicking on your market building every time you get the red dot and the market building has been refreshed. It refreshes once an hour. And make sure that you are buying. You can see I've actually already bought one over here. I haven't unlocked the full shop, so I can't get this one, but you always, always, always want to be buying the mystery shards and especially the ancient shards that appear in your market building. Very, very important stuff. It's super, super cost effective, and the value that you get from mystery and ancient shards over time is well worth the silver that you are exchanging to pick those up. All right, man. And for tip number 15, hopefully your account is off to a good start at this point. Maybe you're 3, 4, 5 weeks in. You're going to start to realize that while your main champ being level 60 is helping you to farm up experience on a lot of other champions that you want to level, the amount of food you're going to be feeding to your other champs in order to keep the levels flowing, right, is going to become quite substantial. So just a neat, nifty little trick to save you a little bit of energy is to actually use a mix of brews and food champions to level up your 1-star crap into a 2-star champ that you can then level and use as food as you wish, right? But this just saves you a little bit of energy. So we'll just take the happy little Deathhound here. You throw 1 flask onto the Deathhound because he's a magic affinity champion. I'm going to use a blue magic affinity brew. And then we throw just a few more champs on top of that, and that will get him up to level 10. And then we can then sacrifice 1 more champ to get him up to a 2-star. And now I can use him for food if I wanted to actually upgrade the rank in my other 2-star champ here. I got my Outrider to level 20, and now I can use this little nerd over here to finish off that level and rank up this Outrider if I so choose. It's just a nifty little efficiency trick that's going to make so that you're not wasting energy campaign farming with 1-stars just to level them up to 2-star. It's quite inefficient. And if you have the brews to spare, then this is just a smooth, snappy, quick little way to get that done. And alright, man, that is it for today's batch of 15 rapid fire tips. I think I can actually squeeze another few more out of this that are maybe just a little bit more kind of intermediate/beginner. So let me know if you guys want to see that, man. Would it help you out? Drop any tips that you can think of as well for brand new players down below as well. Let's make this a goddamn communal effort, you know what I'm saying? For now, thanks for watching, everybody. If you are looking to set up a fresh new raid account, make sure to do so by clicking the promo link down below at the top of the video description. Make sure to like the video and subscribe while you're down there. And for now, I'm gonna catch all of you guys just a tad bit later.